Leadership. You know, it's sad, but when I think about a leader, it's like my mind has to gravitate back towards the past, where a leader had a high moral aptitude, where he was courageous, wise, knowledgeable, and understanding, and always thought about not what he wanted, but what was always best for his people, for those under them. These were his main concerns. How do we preserve our way of life? We're fighting a just war, a war which is beneficial to all of us, a righteous war, a war that was just. But now today, those are things of legend. Leadership in itself has declined. What we have are people who are actors. They act like they are leaders, but in all reality, they're void of knowledge. They're void of morality. They're selfish. They only care about their own ends, their own agenda. As far as the rest of us, they just need us to follow along. And then when that is accomplished, guess what? We are discarded, thrown away. We have no value. You see, the only time he needs to keep us involved is when it has to do with preserving his way of life and not the overall good for all of us. You see these type of leaders now in politics, you know, running for president. They want our votes. They basically tell us what we want to hear so that we vote for them. They don't deliver, and the next time around, they come with the same lies, and again, people vote for them, and still they don't deliver. But in the end, somehow, they ended up in a better situation, huh? They can write a book, movies, interviews. How much more money can they stand to make even after they left office? But what about the rest of us? When we look around and we see society deteriorating more and more and more. Anything that's built up new, it don't benefit us. It's for their benefit. Those behind the scenes are ones who basically influence these puppets that run for office. You could always tell the great presidents that we've had. Unfortunately, they haven't. Their lives in the right way did it. But that's what happens. They basically get taken out. Anytime you see a real leader who is charismatic, they have to fear that, because they're more afraid of someone who is charismatic and can influence people versus someone around wielding a gun, because they know it's only a matter of time before that gun gets turned on someone else, and that's kind of the end of the movement right there. It ends in a genocide, if you will. But those who can clearly see what's going on and can influence the rest of the people as to what is going on, those are the ones they're afraid of. They have to be taken out at all costs, discredited at all costs. It doesn't matter. You see, that's what happens to true leaders. So therefore, what you see nowadays, they're not leaders, they are puppets. That is it. They're nothing but a mouthpiece for someone else. So yes, unfortunately, the true leaders that once used to exist, these great people that you could look at as a role model and say, hey, that's someone I respect, those days are gone. And when we don't have leaders, in business, then you have them in movies, actors with no scruples that don't care about what kind of part they take or what kind of influence it's going to have on the younger generation, as long as they are paid. And unfortunately, we have that in rappers, musicians, who basically the only thing they care about is making money. They don't care about any true leadership. They don't care about any type of reform. The only thing they care about is lining their pockets, and then bragging to us about it over a song. And I guess a lot of us don't live that lifestyle, so how can we even relate? But they try to give us some type of blueprint on how it is that you get it, which is usually a wrong one, which is involves selling drugs and living a type of lifestyle which is destructive. And you'd be lucky if you even get to see a fraction of that dream that they are living. You see, this is another thing that plagues humanity, is ignorance. And under this type of leadership, I don't really see how we as a species are going to survive or make it very far, when the only thing that we are leaving to our children is ignorance. It's a point now where even our children nowadays don't even respect us because they actually believe they know more than we do. And that's where we have to sit back and we have to rethink everything and know that we have to change ourselves. You know, we're too busy looking for leaders outside in the hopes that one man is going to come, he's going to have all the answers to humanity's problems. The reality is that doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. You see? And within us, if we can't sit there and look within ourselves and realize that the only leaders our children are going to have are us, and we have to light the path and try our best to educate ourselves and be as knowledgeable as possible in order to better guide them. That is being a leader. And that's what we're left with. It used to be once upon a time, it took a village to raise a child. Well, that village, it exists, but not with the same mentality. People only care about their children. They've made us follow their example of being selfish and only care about themselves. Nothing but division. You know, you can see somebody breaking in one person's house in your neighborhood, and as soon as they're in your house, you turn a blind eye, you don't care. You see? When once upon a time, if you saw someone in a home, and you know they didn't belong here, you approached them. You let them know, hey, they're not home right now. Is there something I can help you with? Is there something you want me to tell them? You see? That unity is gone now. It's all about ourselves now. And unfortunately, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to awaken people who have accepted this. Because as long as they're not the ones who are feeling pain, they're not the ones who are suffering, they're not the ones who are stressed, they don't care. This is what they've done to us. They've broken the brotherhood and sisterhood of humanity, of trusting one another. They got us all believing that they're the ones that we should trust. But meanwhile, we don't even trust the person who lives next door to us. So, this is what our leaders have done. This is where they've led us to this very point. So again, I repeat, it's upon each and every one of us to turn over a new leaf, become a leader, become more involved in our communities, and to set the examples, and to better guide those that are coming behind us. And to be a true leader, you have to be knowledgeable. You got to have your heart in the right place. You got to have understanding. And you got to be willing to be courageous enough to stand up for what you believe in and to fight for what is right. And these are the marks of a true leader.